this is just the way of things. If you want to go higher, you have to go deeper. The human condition is such that if you just go higher without going deeper, there's a tendency to bypass the human condition. And whilst that might appear to be satisfying on a certain level and offer the hope of dealing with the mess of the human condition, ultimately it doesn't lead to the kind of upliftment that is being sought, and it doesn't lead to a deeper harmonious peace. In fact, it can lead to this syndrome of bypassing, of what we call bypassing. So really, if we want to go up, then we have to go in. If you want to go higher, you have to go deeper. And the deeper we go, the more, at first, in a way, difficult it can be, because we have to encounter so many aspects of ourselves that we may never have met before, and we've been trying to keep at bay. The darkness of the human condition, basically. You've heard me and millions of others talk about this so many times. Everything that has been denied, neglected, pushed away, for whatever purposes, usually kind of existential, emotional, survival reasons when we were young, under the face of whatever we experienced in youth, which can be in varying degrees, a mild form of tyranny or a mild form of, conditioning, to obviously the opposite end of the spectrum, where it's abuse, trauma, violation of the deepest horrors, and everywhere on the spectrum in between. And obviously the more the abuse, the more the trauma, the more difficult it is. There is no doubting about that. It's almost very difficult to come back, to pull the life back from that, because it's such a violation of the energetic innocence of us, and the kind of boundaries, energetic boundaries that are tender in youth, that get violated in youth in such aggressive, hostile, violent ways, either emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, even, that it's very hard to mend them, if you like, and we can spend a lifetime doing that. Myself, I believe, I do see a way. I do see possibilities for people who are on that level of the spectrum, if you like, but it's really not easy, and many layers have to be gone through, and this is part of the human experience that we have, that we've come up with. Life is individualized, and we get these. We're born into. Some of us are born into bliss, and some of us are born into horror. And there's no saying. We can call it karma, past life, fate. Who knows what the reasons are? We don't have access to that kind of information, really. Not really. We can posit our ideas of why that happens, but we don't really know. So we have the hand that we have, and in many ways I believe we can walk the world with our brokenness, with our wounds, but we have to go deeper, and it would be easier in a society that supported that journey. But in a way, when try and reach high for spiritual freedom, we have to go into the darkness. We have to go into ourselves, and we have to go ever deeper to find out what's been neglected, what's been turned away from, what's been hidden by and by and by. That becomes the journey. The journey is the healing. Yeah, it is a healing journey. Life, the spiritual journey, is the healing journey, but it's not the healing of the self to try and fix what seems so broken, but actually to find a deeper grace, to be able to hold from a deeper love that we actually are. We are it. To be able to then hold these wounds, this brokenness, with a deeper grace, with a deeper unconditionality that we can access, because it's our innate humanity, our innate beingness. But that's a journey, and it takes entering the darkness. It takes entering the fortress. It takes entering in those places that we've tried to push offline, rightly so, of course, for survival reasons. But a lot of those things we don't need anymore, because we're much more capable, much more mature, much more resilient, much stronger than we were then. Yeah. So we don't need to carry so much of the wounding as we do, but it just becomes carved into us, and so we have built a self around it. By and by we go deeper and deeper and deeper and encounter all of these levels of ourselves. It's amazing. And by shining the light and being kind and being tender and investigating and releasing and being cathartic, whatever we need to do, whenever we need to do it, by and by we get deeper and deeper and deeper. This is the intimacy with beingness. The intimacy with oneself is the greatest intimacy of all. The intimacy with oneself is the greatest intimacy of all, because it brings you face to face with God. Go deeper and deeper in that intimacy. Start to discover yourself on a deeper, almost divine level. Not that divine, this divine within. And in that, the self really starts to dissolve, and space opens up. The space of us starts to open up. And in that space, we discover what we might have been looking for up there. The way up and the way in become the same way. They become the same search. They become the same destination, because there is only one, and there is only one thing. Consciousness is all. The divine is all there is. And by going in, this awareness and love enter the inner fortress, the inner sanctum, and release everything that was hidden and offline. And this can take a long time. So where else are we going to go? There's nothing else useful to do in this world. Not shiny things. Once you've paid attention, once you've gone into this mine of rubies, there's nothing else of any consequence, because you start to discover the love that's innate within. You go in and in and in and in, it starts to become a love affair. And that's where God is. That's where you find God. Not God as a belief system. God as an experience. The divine as an experience. The beloved as an experience of who you are. And all this duality stuff starts to collapse by and by. This is a beautiful path, and it does involve going through the pain threshold. You don't have to stay there. Resisting it is staying there. Resistance is pain. As long as there's resistance and that game is still being played, even though letting go of it hurts, Now resistance itself is the pain. And letting go brings a different kind of pain, but it's the pain of release. It's the pain of relief. And something deeper starts to happen, this intimacy that I'm talking of. So don't look up, don't look out, look in, go inside.